This episode of Dad is Not a Noun. I want to thank today's sponsor, the Real Dads Network, 11th annual Real Dads Network Daddy Daughter Dance.
So, Corey, why are you excited about this daddy-daughter dance?
Because we get to spend time with each other and dance.
Are you gonna dance?
Yes.
Yeah, no, you're not. I love it.
So when is this daddy-daughter dance?
Good question. So the daddy-daughter dance is on February 18th in Manhattan. Weren't you born in New York? Going back home, huh? Absolutely. Gentlemen, if you're a father, if you're an uncle, if you're a grandfather, if you're just a guy in the community that ladies look up to as a positive role model, come out to this event. Put it on your calendar. This is the 11th annual Daddy-Daughter Dance hosted by the Real Dads Network. And we're excited to have more gentlemen come together to fellowship, but also have a special night for our little queens and princesses. Have a great time, come out, enjoy, and join us on February 18th. Tickets are still available right now.
So guys, I don't care if you're free or not, but just put time on your calendar to spend special time with your daughter.
She's putting the pressure on you, fellas. Have a good day.
Find a better fit for them, along with my crown. And since the baton was passed, hopping down. Cause failing's not an option, and dad is not a noun, not at all.
Welcome to another episode of Dad is Not a Noun. My name is Ishmael, changing the narrative for men of color fatherhood, but also changing the narrative on the things I care about. Sorry about that. Let me bring my back mic into the screen because, gotta have the mic. But yeah, changing the narrative on the things I care about. And today, what I care about is the importance of just giving our youth more affirmation when it comes to like school, whether home. And my guest is doing that right now. She is the founder and the CEO of Dope Pieces Puzzle, the one and only Kris, Hale. Queen, thank you for coming on. How's your heart?
Hey, good people. You know what? It's funny. And I was like, I want to answer the question as honestly as possible. So, it's okay today. It's okay. It's not super great. It's not super, over the top with anything. And I'm not particularly sad about anything, but I'm reflective. And so, oddly enough, I am taking this course through Harvard distance learning, and it's studying happiness. And so today I was doing my module and I was like, just kind of thinking through that and reading through it. So I would just say my heart is reflective today, just kind of taking all the things in and assessing all the things about life right now. So it's good. It's in a good space.
And that's good. Talking about reflective, I'm a strong believer that it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. So getting into that reflection mode, talk about your journey to becoming the founder and the CEO of Dope Pieces.
So I will answer that question, but can I say this first?
Sure.
Because I love the dad is not a noun. I had a great dad. Like I would tell people stories about my dad and they'd be like, you're making that up. And I'm like, no, I had a great dad. And I think that foundationally that plays a role in, being able to do the things you do as an adult. I will tell people you're not raising children, you're raising adults. And so, with my dad being, very active, very present, very much in the verb sense of parenting and raising me, I am overjoyed and honored to be like here because, in honor of my dad, Elmer Singleton, who was dope. I want to say that. But you know what? Ask me the question again.
No. I think that's a perfect segue to the question I asked, but I love what you brought about your dad because it's about affirmation and reflection, and what you put into the world is basically a reflection of the tools and everything your dad put into you. And so, what I asked earlier, when you talk about reflection, it's not about the journey. It's not about the destination, but it's about the
Mhm.
journey. And so you talk about your journey. You talked about your dad, which is a part of your journey, but led you to become the founder and the CEO of the company.
Okay, so and I'll say this and I will also add this. My dad loved black people. I mean, loved black people. We would be driving down the street and like somebody would cross in front of his truck
Hmm.
and they would have, like a guy walking across the street in the summer didn't have a shirt on and he would yell out the window, "That's a beautiful shirt you have on, sir." Just really a lot of affirmation in that. And just really, I had a friend who was very, very chocolate. And I know that she had an issue with it. And my dad was like very cognizant to tell her how beautiful she was. And so when I think about starting Dope Pieces, it really is about representation. So I've done puzzles since I was like 5. And I remember going to Barnes and Noble one of the last times that I purchased puzzles from there. And I bought this puzzle called 100 Best Literary Works.
Okay.
And I'm an English major. So for me, I was like, yo, this puzzle is dope.
Right.
And when I went back, I couldn't find anything else except for like this really ornately decorated library.
Right.
And so I thought it was cool, but I wanted to see things that looked like me. And I didn't know it until a friend of mine, Vince Ballantyne, who was a great artist out of New York, originally from Cleveland. Check him out, Vince Ballantyne. And he was getting ready for an art show and he showed me like the images. And it was one of this beautiful lady, Lady Adorned is the title of it now. And she was really, really chocolate. Well, actually, she was black. She was
Okay.
black. And she had this little fro and these big earrings. And I instantly connected with her. And then he showed me another image and I connected with that one. I was like, I would do this as a puzzle. And so it was all of those things, wanting to be represented, wanting to see images that were reflective of me, reflective of my community, and really showed Black people in like a beautiful, beautiful light. And so as I found more artists and more art that had that in common, I just it just made sense. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. I grew up with my sister's best friend Lori doing puzzles, and my aunts, and just people doing them, but never really seeing things that were like what Patrick Doer's piece, Ordained. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't see this in the store. I didn't
Nope.
see this.
Nope.
You have this beautiful Black man with this crown. I'm trying to get it centered with this crown on, and it's beautiful. And I didn't see stuff like the other one by Patrick Doer. I didn't see I Am, that has this
Yeah.
representation of
Yep.
Black men praying over one another. And so just, yeah, that's the start of it. But it really was first hearing those affirmations from my dad of how beautiful we were as people.
And I think that's
A long
important.
answer, sorry.
Yeah, no, 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 no. I totally agree with you 100%. I think it's a powerful and it's important because, like, talk about the importance of community and the social skills of puzzles, because I think that's important too. Because when I was watching the video of the kids in Atlanta working the puzzles, and you could just see their interaction with each other, working together. So just like talk about that aspect because I think that's important too.
So one of the things that I love about puzzling, and like when most people puzzle, um, they're doing it and they're doing that. They're not like, playing video games because you can't have that. And
Yeah.
you're not really watching television too much because you're focused on the puzzle. And I think that that's one of those times you have an opportunity to really shut off and to shut off the electronics and have genuine conversation and to talk and to have community and to have those moments that really build love, community, and conversation. And it can be done over this puzzle, collective works, working together. And so I love the idea of that because for dope pieces in the images that we select, it's an opportunity for you to talk about those things. And so I have like the puzzle sitting next to me so I can use them as reference points. So for the students at the life school, they're working on Mismatch Malcolm Marley, right?
Yes.
And so
Yes.
this puzzle, and I'll say this like all the time, I love this one so much
It's
because
beautiful.
when you look at him, you have this beautiful brown faced boy who's not just mismatched, he's mismatched in like African garb.
Yeah.
He has his graduation photo, he has books over here, and he has this huge smile. As you know how it is, like when kids
Yes.
dress themselves
Yes.
for the
Yes.
first time and they're able to like go outside and the
Oh
outfit with the cape or their pajamas or whatever.
yeah.
You know, when you give children that opportunity to go out the way that they want to, you look at an image like this and you can have a conversation about, well, self-esteem,
Yes.
about being yourself, about how do you feel about, you and your brown skin. And so the thing that I love about the community of puzzles is that it allows for conversation. And so I'd given a puzzle to this exec at Disney,
Right.
and it was, let's see, I gave him Journey. And so this is Journey by Alejandro Quito.
Right.
And he gave it to his family and he was sitting down talking to them and he was asking them what they thought about the image. What did they think about, what was happening in here?
Right.
And so his daughter was like, it looks like they're happy. It looks like they're on a journey somewhere. It looks like they're going somewhere new. And it really facilitated a conversation that I think surprised him that his children were having, that they were capable of, that they were paying attention to. And so I don't know. I really love the idea that it brings you down to base
Yes.
and you have the opportunity to really converse about things that are meaningful and learn, like, for familial conversations, and even just with children alone in the school, of what's on their mind. Because a lot of times we don't really know how smart our children are, what they
Yes.
observe, what they have going on, what they know, what belief systems they are internalizing and able to share with you until you have like those quiet moments. And so puzzles allow for quiet moments, and I love that.
Definitely. And I'll do one of my favorites too is like you have one of a historical figure. Talk about that too, because I think when it comes to history and knowing our history, that's right. That's right. Like talk about that importance of knowing our history.
So Baldwin, and I'll say honestly, when I first saw the piece, I fell in love with the colors.
Right.
I was like, oh my God, that green just pops, it hits, and it's Baldwin, and it's beautiful. But Baldwin was like the voice for Black people for, and still spoke to like a lot of things that we were experiencing and who we were and who we are and really checked a lot of, white people in a way that, and I don't know like if well received was a way to say it, but in a way that they could hear it
Yes.
and allowed us to have our amen moments in a way that we were able to receive it, like,
Yeah.
like, that's and so being able to do a puzzle of him, it's just dope in itself. And it's funny because if I'm at an event and it's vending, so many people will walk past and be like, oh, that's my guy. And then some
Wow.
people will walk past and be like, oh, I have some issue with that.
Right.
But it always will be a conversation. And I think that agree, disagree, love, like, dislike, whatever, having the conversation sometimes about a thing is really, really important. And I love that Baldwin in this image kind of allows for that. And Rachel Crosby, who's an artist for this, is up and coming. She's self-taught, and she has another piece that she did of Malcolm X and one with Nina Simone and Baldwin, and it's just dope. It's good to see those things and remember and spark conversation. I'm sorry, I talk a lot. Like I will.
I want you to talk. I love it. 'Cause right now, I'm on your website right now while you're talking, and I'm highlighting a James Baldwin piece by Rachel Crosby, which is dope. And then also I'm highlighting the other artworks that's available, which I'm not surprised the mismatch is sold out.
Yeah, and I'm holding like these for the school, and I was like, I cannot sell these until we do the event because they'll be working on those. So I held those, and this is the last one of the ordained because it's going over to someone else too. But yeah, thank you for sharing that.
No, and it's amazing too. Are you working with other schools? Because I think this is vital, especially with the story of DeSantos in the news with him in Florida of like banning AP African history in
That
Florida.
ain't nothing but shame. That ain't nothing but shame right there. I was talking to somebody and like they have the picture of Ruby when she's going into the school, or
Yes.
when you see like these other images and these angry people who are, yelling out their special words. They were
Hmm.
like, they just don't want they just don't want their grandchildren to see grandma and grandpa out there showing themselves.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it really is it's just shame. It's shame.
No, it is shameful, and it's the reality of these are the people that when you put in position of power, these are the results of it. Like if you knew like this is what's going to happen if you put him in office, this is the result for it. And often
Mhm.
what happens, especially in our community, we don't be a little bit more proactive in the early phases. We'll scream and loud and holler when it happens.
Amen. And then it also puts on us, and where it should be, the responsibility of educating our children about the things we really want them to know.
Yeah.
You know, um, the life school really is good about providing a diverse education to their students. And as parents, you have to step in, and as community people, you have to step in and make sure that your children are educated with the things that you want them to know. And so the
Yeah.
responsibility can't fall solely on the education system, but there should be a responsibility to teach history correctly and honestly. And so, don't let your shame, eliminate things that are very, very important from, the
And I
curriculum.
no, I totally agree with you 100% with that. Um, and talk about your relationship with the artist because I love how you built this community when it comes to the artists. So talk about the relationship you have with the artists.
Man, I love my artists. I really do. And I always say that I'm grateful that they trust me with their work because that's what it is. It is definitely a trust, and so that builds a high level of just family with them. And so every artist that I've had the opportunity to work with, I've selected their work for kind of very common reasons, and it really is like this expression of love for Black people that comes out through their art. Like Alejandro Quito out of Brazil, check him out. Like his artwork, and he's doing some like new stuff right now, is really a celebration of us, our beauty. Like he has images of, light skinned people with like freckles on their nose. He has images of people that have like vitiligo or albino, and just like all the facets of us is what I just fell in love with. And like he has this image of like Oshun, and he was like, you
Wow.
cannot use that one for a puzzle, and I'm like, I respect it and I understand, but it's beautiful, and it really is this, I don't know, just it's deep and it's spiritual. With Rachel, she's younger, and like her nod back to history. Like her Malcolm X joint that she did is so pretty. It has all these beautiful oranges and reds in it. And I find something that I love about each and every one of them. Patrick Doer, if you go to his website, Godbody, have you been there?
No, but I will.
Yeah,
And all those
I'm
links of all those artists will be in the description below.
I laugh because I tell people I have to stay off Patrick's site
Wow.
because it upsets me so much, because I'm like, I want everything. How come these are not all mine? But Patrick draws and paints Black people in a way that just makes my heart explode.
Wow.
Like, like you see like your son graduate or your daughter graduate,
Yeah.
or you can see them in their most beautiful. It just it gives it all to me. And Dante Yarborough, he paints from a very personal place. He
Okay.
did limo and history lesson and two reflections. And every time he talks to me about the breaking down of doing each one of those pieces, I'm like, Dante, that's dope. Like, I love how much thought he puts into it and reflecting those things that are important to him about Black people, the community, history, and just, I don't know, representation. So I'm in love with all my artists. I am in love with each and every one of them. I could, just go on for days, but check them all out. Rachel Crosby, Vincent Valentine, Dante Yarborough, Patrick Doer, Ananda Nahu. Ananda Nahu is no
Okay.
joke. Like, out of Brazil as well. And I love that. I feel like Ananda stands in the gap a lot of times. Like, one of the puzzles that will be coming out for her, Bloomberg did a article, and they were having a conversation around black people in Brazil and like economics and all that. And Ananda's there to fill in the gap and express those things through her artwork. She also has like the largest mural in Cleveland.
Wow.
And her first image that I did was commissioned by the UN, and it was Mother Earth,
That's so awesome.
and so she did my Africa, as her representation of that. And it's this beautiful, beautiful Black woman holding this little boy sitting on top of a pyramid with all of Africa at her feet. And I'm like, yeah,
Wow.
I love with all my artists. I have some dope
You
people.
got some fire artists. And it's
Yeah.
dope that you brought that up because yesterday was International Day of Education.
Mm.
The UN established that was it 10 years ago, where it just highlight the importance of education. Education is a human right, and every children should have the right to proper education and
An honest education. The
an
reflection
honest
of
education. Yeah, yes, yes.
All right.
Facts. You gotta speak the truth. But I have one more question. Right now the big thing is AI art. Do you see a maturation of AI art coming into what you're doing or nah?
There is this artist who did this. I mean, I don't know. I don't, and I'll say honestly, I always want to be respectful. And I know that there's the debate of it not being real art. It's not, you know, with your hand, and it's not. I don't know, but some of the stuff is beautiful. It's still really, 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 really pretty, and I don't know yet. I don't know how I feel about that, because for me it's about representation. It's about seeing our faces,
Right.
our likeness in ways that are positive. And to be honest, if I saw a piece that I thought was reflective of that, I don't know that
Right.
I would not want to use it because it was AR.
Right.
But I don't know. I feel like it's a debate that I want to kind of have with my current artists to see what they think about it. I had asked one of them, and they were like, "I don't care," but but I get it, because when I look at the things that Rachel turns out or Ananda turns out, and they're freehand sketching, and it comes from them from beginning to end, and to watch a concept grow from that.
Right.
I want to respect the process of it, but I'm not an artist, and I don't know. But if you give me something that reflects Black people in a way that is beyond how it got here, I can't say that I wouldn't want to share it.
No, and it's important too because that's a big debate that needs to be discussed, and then also it has to be finished in the court system, because I know right now there's the lawsuit right now that's going on in San Francisco. So there has to be some groundworks, some templates.
Mhm.
So again, when you have artists who put their blood and sweat and tears, and then it's
Yeah.
all on social media, and now you have technology that can kind of replicate it and then make it a little bit different here and there and kind of. So it has to be some business model where the artist is compensated, or like a pool where a company who makes this generated platform, where artists can opt in. It's like, hey, if you want to use it, you can use it, but you have to pay this fee to me. But again, it goes back to making sure the original artist is compensated for their work. You know what I mean? And I think that's the conversation, and that's the big elephant in the room that nobody's talking about. But yeah, this is something that needs to be discussed, because there has to be some rules and regulations behind it. Because if not, if it goes
Absolutely.
wild, wild west, then it's not going to be pretty.
Absolutely. I think that an artist's creativity and their ability, their God-given talent or their learned skill is what makes them the artist. It's what makes them special. It's what makes them unique. It's what you know makes them them. And I say that with the foundation of I was talking to a friend about AR, and he was like, go to this site and type in black woman with flowers, blah, 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 based on what I was telling him I wanted. And it generated this image that was really, really pretty, and then he was like, add this, add this. To me, I didn't count that as a puzzle that I would want to use, because it wasn't generated it was generated by me with no skill.
Right.
Based on a couple of key points that I put in. And so when I talk about like Alex having the image of like Oshun, if I was like, I want to, it would never in my heart and mind compare to what Alex produced, because that came from a heart place, from a mind place, from a creation place. And so I don't know, I can go back and forth on it, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's right now. It's just a big question mark, and hopefully through the actual the proceedings that's going on, there'll be a result, and we'll actually have some final answers of how from now on, when it comes to AI art and everything like that. But going back to putting your heart and your soul on it, I want to just thank you for what you're doing, man. You're doing so much amazing work with the puzzles and building the art community. I see it in tech. It's a sister by the name of Cersei Murphy, who has her Virtuous Con, and she gets a lot of Black content people together to do like a virtual con event. And you're doing basically the same thing, just bringing artists together in the love of puzzles. And I just love what you're doing. I'm a new fan of you. I'm going to keep following you. I'm going to follow all the the artists you have. Also, maybe new artists in the future. So before we end this amazing conversation, how can people find you, and what's next?
Absolutely. So you can find us at dopepieces.art. You can purchase puzzles from there. We're under Dope Pieces under all social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. Hit us up there. And up next, I'm actually preparing to put out a new order. I have a new artist coming through. Ansel Butler. He is super dope. Nice. And I'm always looking for new artists. It doesn't mean that because I like your work or because you're an artist, it's always going to make a great puzzle, but I am always looking for new people. And so, and also looking for more opportunities to do branding work. We just did something with CBS where we created special branded puzzles for them as conversation pieces. So those are the things that we're focused on right now.
Awesome. Keep on that branding. Keep your name out there. I'm going to let people know. Oh my God, this has been a dope interview, and let's get her puzzles in the schools. Let's make this happen.
Stores everywhere. Yeah, let's do this.
Let's promote it. Let's put it out there. That's what it's all about. Again, thank you for this amazing conversation. We'll be back again for another dope episode of That Is Not Now with another amazing guest, just like Kris Hale, and we're out. Peace.
Thank you.